We hold these truths to be self-evident, that most people are created healthy and are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, fitness, and the pursuit of happiness. Would anyone like their rights back? I stole Jefferson's preamble to highlight the importance of health. It is a right. Like happiness, we're not guaranteed it. We should guarantee the right to pursue it, and then we must work for it. My new book, Pillars of Health, has simple, fast ways to reclaim your fitness. Live longer, live better, starting with this instruction guide. Now, the pillars are listed on the cover: sleep, eat, move, de-stress, learn, and connect. Start thinking about which one you could improve. We'll come back to that. Now, the idea with all these pillars is to build a snowball that becomes an avalanche. Like that stick figure starting his uphill journey. He's angry because building new habits is hard. And then when he almost gets to the top of the triangle, he's sad because he's about to quit. If he just pushes a little harder, he'll reach that tipping point at the top and get that downhill momentum, and he's got a smile because he's happy. So these pillars build upon each other. Sleep creates a foundation. Eating gives us the fuel. Movement builds more potential energy. De-stress helps us move forward despite setbacks. Learning builds our cognitive capacity. And connecting is that spirit inside that drives us forward. Once again, which pillar could you improve? Right now, we're going to vote on which pillar you want me to cover today. You can see the pillars on the screen. Type your vote in the chat if you're virtual, or send a note to Lindsay if you're in the meeting room. Get a scrap of paper or just tell her verbally what your vote is. Movement is number 3. That one's mostly about physical activity if it's not clear. So give your vote, but remember, there are no mail-in votes, no recounts, maybe some election fraud if Lindsay counts too quickly. Polls closing in 3, 2, 1. We'll give Lindsay a minute to count the votes and you a minute to get your vote to her while I cover the next slide, which is a vision test, not an actual vision test. These are examples of different implementation schedules for the 30 ideas in the book. 5 ideas each for each of the 6 pillars. This is hard to read. Math and numbers and plans. Boring. It's in the book if you actually want to read it. Just remember, you can make big improvements in your life in just 6 to 12 months. If you look at that number 12 highlighted in yellow in the upper right-hand corner, that's the easiest schedule. That's 1 idea per month. Even if you only implement 12 ideas, if only half of them stick, in 1 year, you'll be a better human, a healthier human, and a happier human. Now, did I give enough time? And the winner is Lindsay, because she volunteered to help. Do we have votes? Just pick whatever's got the highest total.
De-stress wins.
De-stress wins. Let's go to it. Now, if your pillar did not win, coming later in 2022, a 20-minute keynote on the full book. Otherwise, you can go to the website and grab it right now and read it. But these are the pillars, and we will go straight to de-stress. Okay, first a quick story. When I was 27, I was clinically depressed for a year. Now, I tracked it with data. While it felt like death, the data told me it was mild, which made me think, I understand why some people have such a hard time in life, because I feel like death and I'm only mild. It felt like the end of the world. I couldn't sleep, and I realized so many people have it much worse. But now I have a toolkit for managing stress. Now, it helps to reframe your perspective. If you have major problems with stress or depression, go to a therapist. But these ideas, these habits help. There's many more. These are my top 5. Number 1, take a break. Most of us work a job and get vacation. If you don't get vacation, remember, breaks can be as short as an afternoon off, a weekend off, planning some time away from yourself. Every year I start in December, at the end of the year, planning my vacations for the year. anchor events. We had a speech on that a couple years ago. That carries me through the whole year. And every Sunday when you're dreading going back to work, if you work, plan what you're going to do next weekend. Have something to look forward to. Number 2, punch something. I'm a boxer and a kickboxer, so I actually punch something. Now, punch something, don't punch people, and please don't punch animals. Okay, punch something like a pillow or a heavy bag or the air. Now, you might actually not want to punch something. You're punching something might be a hard workout. It might be hiking. It might be some kind of hard physical activity. Do something to get that energy out of your body. Third, socialize with your people. So again, this comes back to taking those breaks. When you start the week, plan who you're going to connect with the following weekend so you have some socialization to look forward to. Fourth, breathe deeply. It calms you down even during the middle of a speech, and it can be as simple as one breath. You notice it doesn't say meditate, because if it said meditate, that would stress half the people in the audience out because people are so afraid of meditation. You don't have to meditate to get the benefits of breathing deeply. 1 breath, 3 breaths, 10 breaths. Keep it simple. And then finally, practice gratitude. There's something you buy called the 5-minute journal. This is where I picked up this habit. It costs $20. It's the best business model ever because it probably cost them $2 to make. But they make you write down 3 things you're grateful for every morning. And when you do that day after day, you learn to find very simple things to be grateful for, like warm air, like raindrops, like that breakfast that someone cooked for you. Very simple things you can be grateful for. See the world as half full. Those are the 5 de-stress habits. Again, if you want more, go to my website. You can get the book at mattdeverett.com. You can get the full book now. If you want, you can implement 1 pillar per month. There will be emails coming out. That's a trigger to remind you to move on to the next habit. But you need to have a reason to be ready. You're not going to do any of this because I'm up here speaking. So think about which pillar you could improve. And by the way, there's one more thing. There's a bonus section on weight loss if you're interested. But with each of these pillars, think about why would that help your life? You need to have a why. My why is I want to live a long, healthy life so I can pick my daughter up on her wedding day in a big hug and grab my grandchildren and play on the ground with them when I'm old and gray. That's my reason. What's your reason for living longer, living better? If you can answer it, feel free to pick up the book for some ideas on how to make it happen. And if you do, I'd love to know what you think. Back to you.
Thank you, Matt. Some terrific advice out there for all of us that need to work on some of those pillars.